All right, today we're jumping headfirst into one of the most talked about, and let's be honest, controversial books on strategy ever, Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. We're going to find out exactly why its ideas on human nature are seen as both incredibly brilliant and kind of dangerous. Just think about it for a second. What if you could see past what people say and understand what really drives them? Their secret hopes, their hidden fears. What if you could find that one little crack in their armor? It's a powerful thought, right? And yeah, it's also a little unsettling. Well, that unsettling thought, it's the absolute core of one of the book's most powerful laws. We're breaking down Law 33, a concept that Greene calls the thumbscrew. So here it is, stated in no uncertain terms. The law itself says, everyone has a weakness, a gap in the castle wall. That weakness is usually an insecurity, an uncontrollable emotion or need. It can also be a small secret pleasure. Either way, once found, it is a thumbscrew you can turn to your advantage.
Okay, so what does the book actually mean when it says a weakness? We're not talking about something physical here. No, we're talking about the deep psychological levers that, really control how a person acts.
And this is the central idea, the big metaphor, that gap in the castle wall. The book's whole argument is that no matter how powerful or put together someone seems, there's always an opening. The real trick is just learning how to see it. So what do these vulnerabilities actually look like? Well, the book breaks it down into a few key types. It might be a deep-seated insecurity, maybe about their intelligence or their social standing, or it could be an emotion they just can't control, like greed or vanity. Sometimes it's a powerful, unmet need, like a desperate desire for attention. And, sometimes it's as simple as a secret little pleasure they just can't say no to.
So the big question is, how do you actually find this gap in the castle wall? Well, according to the book, the key isn't to be aggressive or pushy. It's actually a masterclass in just watching people. Pure observation and social intelligence. The book actually lays out a 5-step guide for this. First, you pay attention to the little things, the unconscious gestures and signals people give off without thinking. Second, you look for patterns that go all the way back to childhood, because those unmet needs are incredibly powerful. Third, you look for the contrast. That person who acts super confident, they might be hiding a massive insecurity. Fourth, you find the weak link by testing what seems to be their strongest, most secure trait. And then finally, once you spot an emotion they can't control, you can gently feed it and just watch how they respond. Now, the book really tries to frame this as a tool for just understanding people better, for seeing the world more clearly. But let's be real, it's impossible to ignore the massive potential for manipulation here. And that knowledge, well, it comes with a pretty serious warning. And that brings us to maybe the most critical part of this law. This is not some simple party trick. The book makes it crystal clear that when you do this, you are essentially playing with fire. Let's just be direct about it. When you understand someone's deepest, most hidden vulnerability, you gain an immense amount of influence over them. And just like any other form of power, that can be incredibly dangerous if you misuse it. This quote right here is probably the single most important warning in this entire chapter. There is a huge difference between seeking strategic influence and just getting a cheap, impulsive thrill from messing with someone because you can. And that distinction is everything. See, real power, at least how the book defines it, is strategic. It's all about the long-term gain. It's subtle. But that thrill of control, that's impulsive. It's all about short-term satisfaction. It's usually really obvious, and it almost always goes way too far. And that creates enemies and eventually blows up in your face. So this is where we'll leave it, because once you start seeing these gaps in the castle walls, you can't really unsee them. And that leaves us with the final question. Is having this knowledge a source of power that helps you navigate the world? Or is it a heavy burden that just changes how you see people forever?